Redditors who were almost murdered, what's your story? User Gorilla Dick 420. I was coming home from a bachelor's party at 2 a.m. and on the way home, I realized we all had forgotten the steak dinner portion of the evening that we had all planned. I didn't want to wake up my wife and baby drunkenly rummaging around the kitchen, so I had the taxi drop me off at the Dunkin' Donuts a half-mile from my house. This was pre-Uber times. I got myself a couple egg and cheese bagels and started walking home. Now, I made sure to take the quieter neighborhood street rather than the busier street in order to make sure to avoid potential drunk drivers. However, about a block into the neighborhood, I see a pair of dudes coming my way down the sidewalk. I consider crossing the street, but realize how insulting that would be to the two men clearly just walking home from a fun evening just like me. When they are a few feet away, I give them a "how you doing" nod and they returned it with their own. I was so proud of my decision to treat them like fellow bros and not be so suspicious. Then, as they walk past me, one of them pulls his hand up in the air, holding a tire iron, and strikes me in the back of the head hard. I fall into the street from the impact, but remain conscious. One holds my arms down while the other climbs on my legs and starts rifling through my pockets. I tell them to take what they want, and they tell me to shut up or they will kill me. Then they ask me where my wallet is, and when I tell them which pocket it is in, they tell me to shut up or they will kill me. They took my wallet, phone, and watch, and then kicked a few more times in the head, but then took off. I was bleeding and super concussed, and without a phone at 2:30 a.m., and there was no way I could make it home on my own. I saw a house nearby where the flickering light of a TV could be seen in an upstairs bedroom. I crawled over to the house and pulled myself up onto the porch and leaned against the door and knocked and hollered for help. The homeowner was rightfully scared and didn't want to open the door at that hour for a stranger who wouldn't even stand up to be seen through his front door's viewfinder. I was feeling very faint at this point and was covered in blood from the head wound, but convinced him to call 911 and get an ambulance. I also asked if he could call my wife. At that point, he seemed to feel more confident that I was not trying to trick him, and he offered me a cordless phone through a chain door. He said he wanted to help, but I needed to stay out on the porch because he had just redone his floors and I was bleeding way too much. When the EMTs arrived, they decided they should take me to the better hospital instead of the one a few blocks away, but the route to the other hospital required several blocks of driving on cobblestones, an experience I would not recommend to any concussed individuals strapped to a gurney in the back of an ambulance. I needed 24 staples in my head, and the doctors all told me I was lucky to have survived such a massive blow to the head with a blunt object. But the sad part, I never actually got my egg and cheese bagels.